Welcome to the Daily Dish with New York Times bestselling author Leanne Ely. Putting vibrancy back into your everyday life and feeding your heart, mind, body, and soul. Join us every day at 1 p.m. Eastern for Motivational Monday, Tuesday's Tip, Wise Woman's Wednesday, Thirsty Thursday, Food Fight Friday, and of course Q&A, where no question is off limits, and Soulful Saturday. Here is your host, Leanne Ely, and the Daily Dish.
Hey everyone, it's time. Who's in the house? Who is here to say hello? Who is here? I'll take my beauty support doing that. Hey Catherine, good to see you. Hey everybody out there, woohoo! Sarah, bring it on. There's my girl Beverly. Hey y'all, let's get this party started. I'm so glad you're all here. By the way, today is Thirsty Thursday. We're going to be talking about the disruption of change because, you know what, let's just be honest. We all hate it. We just do. We don't like change. We don't do well with change. We constantly have that fight over change. But I'm going to talk to you, how you respond to this is going to be the key to everything. We're going to talk about this today. It's good stuff, okay? It's good stuff. So thanks so much for joining me. I appreciate you showing up. And for all of you who've said hello, good afternoon, and what have you, thanks so much for saying that. Hello, I missed you. I'm flapping my gums as usual. And for those of you who are in my VIP group, you're either in Hot Milk Club or Take Back Your Life, don't forget at 2 o'clock this afternoon, that's, in an hour, we have our class. We're doing a class on preventing cognitive decline, what we can do actively right now today so that we don't end up in trouble. So I've got all that for you. Our new decaf is in the shop now. Boom, did you see it? We've had a bunch of orders already for it. I had it yesterday for the first time. I'm going to make a strong recommendation. It is not nearly as strong as our regular tea. I'm going to do it with 2 bags today. So it still has that flavor. It's still, the bergamot is still nice and fresh smelling, but that's my recommendation anyway. That's how I'm looking at it. Hey Sue, hey Beverly, good to see everybody. Again, thank you for showing up. Okay, Siri, go away. Go away, Siri. Siri, yeah, okay. Yeah, Siri just shows up randomly sometimes. 2 days in a row now. I don't know what's wrong with her. Anyway, yeah, playing bridge will keep your brain in shape. There's a whole bunch of stuff that will keep your brain in shape. That's just a component. In my notes, I have 10. So there's lots and lots of good stuff there. By the way, if you go to savingdinner.com/decaf, you can see the decaf tea there. And it's very, stuff's amazing. So anyway, there you go. That's what you need to know about tea. And by the way, tea is one of the things that's on my list to prevent cognitive decline. So how do you like that? We have gift certificates, by the way, in the shop. And we've done that because I know a lot of you are going, come on, I just don't know what to get somebody, or that they want a little bit of something, how about our supplements? Supplements are fabulous ways to turn people on to a healthy lifestyle. And so many times people just do not know what to get. Well, guess what? I can help you out with that. Every time we send out our supplements, we send out a little quadrifold, I don't know, fourfold, however you say that. You pull it out and it tells you exactly when to take everything that we have in our shop. We set up a schedule like this so that you're not going, this is just too overwhelming, I don't know what to do. Well, it's going to help you out. So we do that. That's one of the ways that we can support you. But if you want to see our gift certificates, and by the way, they're darling, full color. You can print them out. You can put any denomination in there you want. savingdinner.com/gift. And you can give somebody you love the gift of supplements. or the gift of dinner. You can do all kinds of stuff, whatever you want to get. It's there. It's in our shop. We're thrilled about that. We start our sprint on Monday, by the way. Who's in? Who's got those pinkies up? I'm going to be in. I'm going to be crushing it with you. I'm excited about it. SavingDinner.com/sprint if you want to get the update on how to do it. It's a webinar. Plus, you get all the other thing that you're going to like about that is you get all the things. You get all the things. You can download the guide there. There's a food diary. It's all free. So just go to SavingDinner.com/sprint to get it. Here you go. Look at this. Whatever you're not changing, you're choosing. That is our quote of the week. We do a new quote every single week. And we do these quotes because they light us up and they make us say, you know what? Cosmic 2x4. I don't know about you, but I need those cosmic 2x4s. Those cosmic 2x4s are the thing that turns around your life. If you put action on the thing that made you say, whoa, you get stuff done, don't you? That's what happens. It's so much fun. It's fun to live your life like that. And I've been cleaning out closets and cleaning out everything. I mean, Mark is on his way right now. He's going to Fly Lady. He has to take some CoQ10 to Fly Lady from our Core 4 supplements. They're running low on it, and we have a whole bunch, so he's taking it down there. But here's the thing that I have noticed, that as you're cleaning out, as you're getting rid of things, and as you're going through things, you can find a little bit of your history. And I have been finding I didn't even know. I found this little book and I was like, oh, what is this? And I went, oh my gosh, it's 2013. It's one of my journals from 2013. And I keep notes on all kinds of things. If I hear a podcast, I'll scribble notes. And I've been doing this for years and years. And here I found about this whole thing about adapting to circumstances and just some basics in there. And then I added a few things that kind of light me up. So I'm sharing all the stuff that I'm cleaning out of my closet. And I hope it benefits you. I hope you find it beneficial. It's really fun for me to look back on all of this stuff, get it all cleaned up. And by the way, you can always get the notes from our broadcast every single day. You get them the next day, but if you listen to it and then you get them the next day, how much better is that going to imprint the message into your action plan for actually doing it? We have Amber on our team who takes fabulous notes and then sends it out every single morning, every single day the next morning. And so you can get the show notes. All you have to do is go to savingdinner.com and it's right there. There's a pop-up or a sidebar somewhere you will see where you can sign up for our newsletter. And Vicki just said, I love your notes. Thank you for that, Vicki. So many people love our notes. We've been getting a lot of really nice comments, but the notes just help solidify the message. That's all it does. You remember when you were in school and you were taking notes? Why did you take notes? To solidify the message so you didn't forget about it. This is what this helps you do. So really proud of these notes. Proud of Amber for doing this and taking on this task, and really happy to pass on this resource to you. So take advantage of it. Just get yourself on the newsletter list. And the other thing is we give you deals and other kind of recipes and all kinds of fun stuff. And last but not least, of course, we are sprinting all next week. So go to savingdinner.com/sprint to get yourself signed up, okay? And the only reason I'm telling you to do that is so that you can understand it from, soup to nuts, man, all the way. When you understand exactly what's what, and when you understand this is what I'm going to do, this is how it's going to be, this is what it's going to look like, then you can just go bam, 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 crush. Because the more we know, the better we do. It's just fact. It makes it easy when it's just, you're not constantly looking all over, 17 pages of notes. Go, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? This is going to make it easy for you. Promise. savingdinner.com/sprint. Grab it. Supplement of the week. Don't let me forget about that. Is our Inflow Crusher. Do you love this stuff? I mean, we have people hooked on this. I use this. I told you this. Instead of using any kind of ibuprofen or NSAID, any kind of anything like that, this is what I use first, and it does the job. That's what its whole thing is about. It's an anti-inflammatory. It's curcumin, which is one of the bioflavonoids really of turmeric, and I will tell you right now, This has been one of the most tested, the most researched compounds on the face of the planet. I mean, there's thousands and thousands of research pages out there on it. The one thing about it, though, is the bioavailability. We have a bioavailable curcumin, which means it goes right into your gut and it gets absorbed there and it does the work. And people who take it know. We have people who will not run out. They love it that much. So buy 3 and get 1 free. So just put 4 in your cart. Lucy, send in an email to support@savingdinner.com for all of this stuff, okay? That's where we handle that stuff. No nuts on the spread, soup to nuts. Yep. Sarah, you know it. Hi, Vanessa. Good to see you. Anyway, and these are about gone. The new ones are on their way. We just ordered them. Mark came up today and he said, you know, we just have almost no mugs. And I said, oh, yes, we do. We have new ones on the way. Wait till you see them. They are adorable. They are adorable. Okay? I can't wait. All righty. Q&A's tomorrow. Who's going to be here for Q&A? We usually have a really good lineup of questions. I haven't even taken a peek to see what's out there. But listen, if you have a question about nutrition or cooking or how do you do a ponytail, I've done that before. Whatever you want to know, I will help you out. All you have to do is send in an email to support@savingdinner.com and you will get your question answered. Just put in the subject line, question for Leanne on Friday. All righty, let's talk about what we're going to talk about today, because this is a needle mover. I promise you this is neat. I always say that, right? But it is. When we apply these things, it's a needle mover. What we have to understand about our brain is how much our brain hates any kind of change. Just like what I've told you about the amygdala, the part of your brain that says it's the fear center of your brain. It is the fear center of your brain. Well, the amygdala is scared of everything, first of all, and the amygdala also doesn't want you to change one tiny iota of a thing. It doesn't want you to do your hair different. It doesn't want you to brush your teeth differently. I mean, seriously, keep doing everything the same, because the amygdala said, this is what I like. And the amygdala tries to run the show. And the more we let the amygdala run the show, the more we're going to shrink and be tiny and small, stuck in a corner, nowhere to go, pitiful, not powerful, sad, not like Tigger, more like Eeyore. And that's what the amygdala's job is. But at least everything's the same, right? Everything is painted beige. It's all beige. So we don't want that, though. We don't want that. We don't want our brains to run. We don't want to let our amygdala run the show. We want the prefrontal cortex to run the show. This is the abstract thinker. This is the way where we get to extrapolate the information that's good and pro us. And this is where we get to say, you know, I need to dump that. That's no longer working for me. This is where all the big thinking goes. This is where the complexity of our thinking goes. And that's not to say that change has to be complex. It's saying that this is where we're able to think in multi-layers. Like, if I do this, then this is going to happen. If I do that, then this is going to happen. Or perhaps this, or perhaps that. Can you imagine? What about? It's creative, it's analytical, and it gives you the opportunity to create the life that you want to live. That's why we say we are the Daily Dish Show right here, right? We're helping you put vibrancy back into your everyday life, heart, mind, body, and soul. And the reason we say this is because the whole woman understands that she is dealing with all of herself, not just the one thing. Because, and I said this in Body Clutter, you know, I don't want to be, at my eulogy, I don't want somebody talking about the color of my lipstick or the size of the jeans that I wore. I want them to talk about the size of my heart, the size of my soul, how I served, what I've done. And we get to be those purposeful human beings when we make a decision to honor the whole self. That's why we talk about all these different subjects. Yeah, we want to get those jeans on, and yeah, we want to have the right color lipstick, right? But that isn't the, you know, the beginning and the end in the middle of who you are. It's just a portion. So let's address the whole woman so that we can get on with who we are. When we understand, by the way, a little bit of how our brain works and how it's trying to take over and why it does what it does, it gives us enough information to say, hold the phone. This is not going to happen. This is what I want in my life, not that. You follow? I know you do. But this to me is just, this is life. This is life. This is what changed my entire mind about everything. When I recognized that this is what my amygdala was doing, this was this tiny portion of my brain trying to run the whole show, and that I was wrong about so many things. I wasn't a victim unless I wanted to be one. I wasn't helpless unless I wanted to stay helpless. I wasn't pathetic if I wanted to choose powerful, and on it went. Because change is always a disruptor, always a disruptor. And it's how we respond to that disruption that determines our path, and it determines the trajectory of where we're going to be going in this life and what it is that we want and how we want to get there. This is the big stuff, you guys. This is the big stuff. Because, and we talked about this yesterday, you know, something's going to come and disrupt you. Something's going to come and interrupt, you know, what you're doing. Something's going to say, excuse me, you know, let me jump into your life. Let me throw up on your floor, or, you know, let me have the dishwasher explode, or some such thing. We have to be flexible with this thing. But overall, and to connect to yesterday's message, we have to connect to this whole idea that change is a coming, always. And how we react to it is going to completely change the trajectory of our lives if we make a decision that we can go with it. So very much like what we were talking about yesterday. I mean, look at where we are right now today. Look at where we are. It's, you know, we've had pandemic most of the year. We've had, I mean, there's been one crisis after the other, something to rock your world, something that you turn on the TV and you're just going like, just, you know, more of the same, just crazy town. And then hurricanes and floods and fires and fill in the blank. It's all there. But we always say this, blessed are the flexible. Blessed are the flexible, for they will not be broken. We cannot by any means live in the place of allowing this stuff to break us in half. Because at that point, fear wins. At that point, this disruptive change that comes in is more feared than it is revered. And not that we have to enjoy it, but we do need to embrace it because it is here. Nobody wants to embrace a pandemic, no one. But we need to know, how do we wisely handle this? What are the best, what are the best ways of handling this? What do we know? What are the facts? How do we get to this from here to there and to do it safely? We have to know those things. But we also need to know for ourselves that, you know, if there's a dishwasher issue, we can handle it. If a kid is throwing a fit in the middle of Target, we can handle it. If there's something happening in our lives, we have a job that goes off the rails, or your boss yells at you, or your computer breaks down, we can handle it. This is adapting to our circumstances. And sometimes it's a momentary circumstance, and sometimes it's a life change, you know? And I can think of a million of those. For example, if you were ever sitting in front of a doctor, you know, how many of you done that? You're sitting in front of a doctor's desk and the doctor said, I'm sorry to tell you this, but you've got fill in the blank. You've got cancer. You've got diabetes. You are insulin resistant. You've got all these inflammatory markers on your tests. This is what we're seeing on your x-ray. At that moment in time, your life completely changes. The first thing you have is this shock, like, oh my gosh, what's going on here? What am I going to do with this? But at that point, embracing that change and saying, okay, so what's next? That's the analytical part of our brains. That's this part of the brain, the prefrontal cortex, that takes over, that is analytical, that solves the problem. That solves the problem as best they can. I mean, you know, you're not, we're not God, we're not omnipotent, but we can certainly get into the weeds with it and figure some things out, what to do next. That's always the next thing, you know. what to do next. So the first thing that we have to do is we need to change our minds, don't we? We have to change our minds. When the amygdala flashes up and says, hey, danger, there's change ahead and I don't like it, let's just stay right here, you need to tell your amygdala to take a seat. Take a seat. The prefrontal cortex is handling this thing right now. Understand that we have command over our brains when we decide we have command over our brains. And when we understand what part of our brain is trying to put us into this place of fear, into this place of a corner, into this place of feeling this small, then we know this is how we need to react. We need to act in a place of, okay, so now what do I do? So what do I need to do now? Get over, process, deal, find yourself in the place where, okay, that's scary. Okay, I don't know much about this. Okay, so this is happening. And now I need to go to the place of deciding how I'm going to handle all of this. That doesn't mean you're not going to cry. That doesn't mean you're not going to be upset. That doesn't mean you won't be hurt. That doesn't mean, there's so many things. There's so many things. I mean, I can tell you about women that I have counseled over these last 25 years. I've heard everything. Because oftentimes what happens, you hear about their marriages or their not marriages, or you hear about health concerns, their kids' health concerns, what their children are doing, and stuff that's just, you're going, whoa, I thought we were going to be talking about this thing. But we need, you know what? This is what goes hand in hand with life changes. When things happen to us, we have to be able to react to them on all levels of our lives. Because what happens if we don't? You guys know this. What happens if we don't? We fall back into old habit. So we feel huge discomfort. What do we want to do? We want to go comfort. What is it that we're going to do? Well, if we were 2 years old, we'd go suck our thumb with a blankie in the corner. Or at this place, what we do? We end up going for the comfort food, comfort food. Comfort food, usually full of inflammation, usually full of carbs, usually full of sugar, usually full of something that's not going to help us out at all. And it usually leads to an overeating or a binge or a something else like that. And here's what I know, that when we're doing this, when we're in this place of leaning back onto old comfort food, old comfort habits, or maybe, it's biting your nails or having too much wine or binge watching Netflix or getting on the phone and talking for hours endlessly. What happens? What happens? We lose our place. Not only do we lose our place, we lose our brain for a minute, we lose our minds for a minute, and we're not really doing much of anything except putting it all on repeat because it doesn't solve anything. Now, I know that there was a big thing, I remember this going through marriage counseling myself of, men just want to solve problems right away and women want to feel them. And I say that's a big bunch of crap, by the way. I think it's a big bunch of hooey. You know what it is? It's different parts of the brain, and it's whatever part of that brain is dominant. Well, I'm here to tell you right now that that's nonsense. That at any point in time, we can make the decision and take the moment to say, take a seat, amygdala, take a seat. Because I'm going to go to this place of figuring this out. When we can start figuring things out and we can start doing this on our own, we don't need a man to come along and give us the solution because we're too emotional to figure it out. I mean, that you talk about sexism right there, that's crap, total crap. And don't get me started on all this. Ageism and sexism is my two big things right now. Don't even, just don't. We're smart enough to figure these things out ourselves. And when we understand how our brains work, then we can manipulate them to our own advantage. Listen, this is your brain we're talking about. It's attached to you. You don't get to pull it out and put it on the sidelines. You live with it on the daily. So if that's the case, then it's time to train the brain. It's time to train it. We have, you potty train your dogs and cats, right? You want that cat in the cat litter box. You want that dog going outside to do its business. Well, train your brain to sit down. Take a seat, amygdala. Take a seat. Enough out of you. We're not going to be fearful anymore. I understand you don't like change. Take a seat. And now you get to go to the prefrontal cortex and say, okay, here's where we are. Now what do we do? And I'm telling you this because that is empowering information. It is empowering information to know that your brain does work like that. It's empowering information for you to understand. You don't need to wait for some man to come along and fix you. You don't. You've got this yourself. You are logical. You are solution-oriented. You are smart. You are analytical. You do have the reasoning capability of being an abstract thinker. Yes, you do. So tap into that and know it's there. It's at the ready. Just bring it back. Take a seat, amygdala. Now let's go figure this out. You, me, prefrontal cortex. Let's get down to work. Isn't that such a cool piece of information? Use that, take it to the bank, and know it. So what are you going to do? Blessed are the flexible. Blessed are the flexible. Because number one, you can change your mind at any point. It's a power move when you change your mind like this. It's a power move when you tell your amygdala to take a seat and you say, we're going to get into the prefrontal cortex stuff and get into it and get her done, right? We have the power to do that. And then number two is we have got to let go of the if-onlys. The if-onlys put us in the corner. The if-onlys make us small. If only I didn't, or if only he said he loved me. Oh gosh, I hate this helpless woman business. That is a learned tactic that needs to go away forever and ever, amen. We are equal to men, right? We are equal and just as smart as a man. So stop with this garbage. Stop with all this learned helplessness. Let it go, because you're smart, you're capable, you are able at every turn. You just need to learn how to use your brain right. So when we do this, when we let go of the if-onlys and we recognize that it's always about choice. Choice, choice, choice all the way. Decision, decision, decision all the way. And we all are going to have some regrets in this life, because we're not going to live it perfectly. We're going to do the very best that we can with the information that we have and with all the, everything in front of us being analyzed. We do the best that we can. Is it always going to be the right answer? Is it? Maybe not. And we need to let go of maybe making a mistake. Because let me just tell you, we all have some kind of regret in this life. We always will. Something. Not huge, not big, like, oh, I should have turned left instead of turning right. We all have them. It's part of it. But, it's not like we're making Sophie's choice every day. You saw the movie, right? Sophie had to choose between which children, one was going to live and one was going to die. She had to choose. This is not what we're up against. What we're up against every single day is making choices. And sometimes they're going to be the right choices, and sometimes they're going to be the wrong choices. So what? If we learn from them and move on, we're that much better. We become that much better, and we can become that much more excellent. Number three, remember who you are. Remember Star Wars? And Luke was feeling so depressed. I'm bringing in all the movies right now. And Luke's feeling really depressed, and he's feeling like, oh, I'm just, I'm nothing. And he's hearing Yoda's voice. Remember who you are. You're a warrior. You are a woman on a mission, put here by God on purpose at this time for a reason. And you're here to discover that. You're here to discover that. We talked yesterday about the miracle of just the fact that you were born. So if this is the case, and we just start there, just start with birth and start working your way up. From here to there, from here to there. You're here on purpose. Know who you are. Remember who you are. Created by God Himself, fearfully and wonderfully made. Number four, go all in on the change you wish to become. That just means that You're setting a time for yourself. You're setting schedules for yourself. You're setting different things up. And even when you don't want to do them, you still do them. Because what you're looking at is the bigger picture. And that bigger picture has a more vibrant you on that vision board, right? A more vibrant you. You adapt to your circumstances. Adaptability is the ability to change, to improve, and to improvise. Because sometimes we're going, okay, so I don't know these dance moves, so just move your groove thing. Just shake it like you mean it. Because we're always going to be in a place where we don't know what the whole calculated risk is about. We just don't. But moving forward and being adaptable and just saying, you know what, I'm just going to move it anyway. I was watching, speaking of movies, I was watching a movie where this was the very thing, and suddenly the actress, I can't even remember the name of the movie, somebody is going to remember it. She's out there, she's dancing, and she's all dressed up in like one of those Las Vegas showgirl costumes, and then she's in the back just trying to dance with everybody, and okay, now I guess we're kicking our legs. It was pretty funny, but that's us. We have to be that. We have to get in the chorus line and just kick like you mean it. It doesn't matter. We just have to do it. And your propensity to change and adapt is always going to bring new opportunities. Have you seen that? I have seen that on repeat over and over and over and over again. Every time I say, I'm just going to do that. I'm going to put my nose down. I'm going to get busy. I'm going to, here we go. Let's just do this. And guess what? Every single day gets a little bit better. And guess what? A new opportunity shows up. And guess what? The right people show up. And guess what? It's like God kisses every aspect of it. He does. He is delighting in the fact that you aren't shrinking back. When you decide to make a decision to play full out in your life, embrace the change, and even when it is so disruptive, it's like he comes into your life and says, okay, I see you trust me. And here's another person that's going to help you. Here's another door I'm going to open for you. Oh, and here's the key for that one over there, the scary one that you never thought would get opened. I'm going to open that one too. This is what happens. And it's also a part of your brain function, by the way. It's your reticular activating system, looking for evidence to support the things you're thinking about. So if you're thinking about crap, you're going to attract in the crap. Oh, here it goes. And then you'll say, and see, there it is. But what if you flipped your thinking? What if you flipped your circumstances? What if you said, I'm just going to do this anyway, and I'm going to expect different results because I'm doing something different, and then watch what happens. You're going to see so many serendipitous moments, so many interesting things that happen, and the people that come along. It is fabulous. Sarah just said it. It flips from if only to guess what? Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Can I tell you how many times I have been the witness to that? And even in the midst of all of that, and you guys remember in May, when all of a sudden our supplements were all drying up and I was trying to work with a new manufacturer, everything was falling apart. I didn't have the money for it, but I took a credit card and said, game on. Maxed out a credit card, a personal credit card to do this. And you know what? It worked. And I put everything that I had into it. And so did my team. We did it. We worked hard. We busted our butts. But you know what? It was worth every bit of it. Kept the business alive, we kept educating and bringing it back to you and helping you out, helping people to be better versions of themselves. It was worth every minute of it, but there was a minute where I was really pretty scared to death, in the middle of the night, scared. I would do it again and again and again. And what I have found, that doing these scary things, not bungee jumping or jumping out of perfectly good airplanes. But what I've found is that when I do things like this, God comes right back and blesses me because he's saying, you're listening. He does that when we listen. So what do we need to do with this? I've got a couple of things, just 2 things for you. This is your alignment assignment. You need to prepare yourself a week in advance as you go. Prepare your day. What is your day going to look like? Prepare for the whole week. What does it look like on a weekly basis? Where are you losing your time? What are you not getting done? what needs to be filled in. You can use our time blocking sheet. I have that. It's a free resource that you can download, savingdinner.com/time. Download that and then find where you're losing all your time. Find where you're just unwilling to go to a certain place. Because this is one of the things that I found. When we're unwilling to go someplace, when we're unwilling to make the change that we need to make, you know what happens? We get stuck in doing something else. On our phones, watching Netflix, yada yada, doing anything on Pinterest, in social media, doing anything except that, avoiding that. And remember, we get our choice between two pains. The pain of regret, which is huge, or the pain of following through, which is just momentary. It goes that fast, you know? And you want to hear something funny? For me, the change of the hard thing for me is changing into my bike shorts and the shoes that I have. The shoes are these weird clip-on shoes. I've got them right here. I should show them to you. They're the weird clip-on shoes to get on the bike, you know? But so my overcoming is just like, how do I overcome this? Because I keep thinking I don't want to do, you know, it's too cold. And I'm sitting here in sweat, you know, sweats and mucklucks pretty much, and just usually a wool pashmina around me because I'm freezing. But you know what I do? I do a 10-minute warm up that's on the floor, and then I'm all warmed up, and then I change, and then I go do what the thing is that I needed to do. That's problem solving. That's from just saying, okay, so what's getting in the way here? And when we can get that analytical, we can figure it out. So then the last one is be open to new ideas. When you're open to new ideas, guess what happens? They show up, don't they? You suddenly think of something. Your creativity is fired up. What if? Can you imagine? Wouldn't it be great if? Those kind of questions help to open up some new thinking that you haven't had in a while. It gets the creativity going. And not only that, again, reticular activating system, searching for evidence to support this new idea, it'll show up. Honest hand to God. It does all the time. So there you go, you guys. You know, start visualizing your outcome when you have something like this, when you're doing the change. Visualize what that outcome is. If it's getting into doing the exercise every single day and being consistent, start visualizing. What is that going to look like? Well, in 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, you're going to look completely different. You're going to feel completely different. Start visualizing that instead of the thing that you're doing when you're, you know, thinking about not doing it. And understand, yeah, change is a disruptor, but it's a disruptor for you. It's a disruptor of a life not well lived, but to get you to the place of a life well lived. That's what change does. You ready for that? I am. Next week, man, I'm all about it. And remember this, whatever you're not changing, you're choosing. So if you want to choose something better, then it's time to not be so afraid of change. Lean into it, embrace it, and say, come on, bring it on. Bring it on. I've got you. Oh boy, I like it that way, don't you? All right, who's ready? Who's ready for the next thing? I am. Don't forget to join me tomorrow for Q&A. It'll be great if you send in a question. Send them in to support@savingdinner.com. Question for Leanne on Friday in that subject line. And do not forget about InfloCrusher. Put 4 in your cart, and we will send you that 4th one for free. Yeah, that's how we do it. Peace be with you. Thanks for joining me today. I'll see you tomorrow.
Thanks for watching. You can find us on YouTube on the Saving Dinner channel or on the Saving Dinner Facebook page. Check back daily for new episodes, Monday to Saturday at 1 p.m. Eastern. If you missed the live show, you can watch the replay. Until next time, pinkies up.